Everyone has a dark side, and that side likes to laugh too.
Seriously, just fuck off now, not in the fucking mood!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 dark comedies.
Need money to fix your sleigh?
Exactly.
For this list, we're taking a look at movies that are dark or sensitive in terms of subject matter, but also manage to infuse humor into the plot. It's not necessarily offensive humor, but more of a comical take on things that would otherwise have us blubbering into our popcorn.
I'd like to dedicate this to my grandpa, who showed me these movies.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Is he here? Where's your grandpa right now?
In the trunk of our car.
Okay.
Number 10, Death at a Funeral.
Who's this?
Pardon me?
That's not my father.
A death at a funeral would seem like the natural order of things, sorta, but in this British comedy, it's really just the backdrop. The film focuses on a family's attempt to have a proper send-off for their beloved patriarch.
What's going on? I don't know.
But between dealing with guests on hallucinogenic drugs, deep dark family secrets,
I think I deserve something. I mean, your father and I were lovers.
and blackmail attempts, it's all they can do to deliver the eulogy.
What are you doing to let
Number 9, Trainspotting.
Gonna do it right this time, gonna get it sorted out, get off it for good.
I'm sure I've heard that one before.
The sick boy method.
Oh, it really worked for him, eh?
Well, he's always been lacking in moral fibre.
He knows a lot about Sean Connery.
That's hardly a substitute.
Debilitating heroin addiction isn't usually a comedy goldmine.
People think it's all about misery and desperation and death and all that shite, which is not to be ignored.
But this twisted 90s classic works a fair amount of chuckles into the story, despite its decidedly dark subject matter.
Doesn't it make you proud to be Scottish?
It's shite being Scottish!
Following the exploits of a group of junkies, Trainspotting manages to weave humor throughout. And after a neglected baby dies while they're busy shooting up, it's safe to say there are moments when a good laugh is needed.
I met Spud, who sends his regards. Or at least I think that's what he said.
Number 8, Harold and Maude.
I suppose you think that's very funny, Harold.
A 79-year-old free spirit and a 20-something young man are drawn together by one thing: their fascination with death. Their unconventional friendship sees them exploring and enjoying life, going on a number of adventures together. But as their friendship evolves into a romantic relationship, the two are pulled together even more.
Do you disapprove?
Me? No, of course not.
Causing Harold's family to lose their cool and turning the May-December romance into a doomed Romeo and Juliet story, but a darkly funny one at that.
A very common neurosis, particularly in this society, whereby the male child subconsciously wishes to sleep with his mother. Of course, what puzzles me, Harold, is that you want to sleep with your grandmother.
Number 7, Bad Santa.
I know that Christmas Eve is in a couple days, and you have to fly around the whole world and give presents to everyone, and you won't be around anymore.
When you're an alcoholic thief moonlighting as a mall Santa, you gotta wonder what went wrong in your life.
If you were Santa, you could do magic.
You want to see some magic? Here, let's watch you disappear.
At least you might be inclined to if you cared about anything other than sex and getting drunk.
Jesus, Mother Mary and Joseph, you piss yourself.
Oh, Jesus.
Throw in a naive and idealistic kid who still believes in Santa Claus, and the movie is ripe for inappropriate and offensive behavior.
Son of a bitch! You lousy, cheating little shit!
Number 6, Heathers.
I can't believe it. I just killed my best friend.
This one's both quintessentially 80s and an anti-teen film. In an era when most teen movies had the kids dancing in the streets or winning over the boy of their dreams, Heathers bucked the tradition.
You were nothing before you met me. You were playing Barbies with Betty Finn.
Instead, it sees Winona Ryder and Christian Slater as a pair of teenage lovers with blood on their hands.
Technically, I did not kill Heather Chandler, but hey, who am I trying to kid, right?
I just want my high school to be a nice place. Amen. Did that sound bitchy?
Popular teens being killed off under the guise of suicide makes for some tricky comedic material.
To me, though, suicide is the natural answer to the myriad of problems life has given me.
But somehow, this film manages to pull it off.
I must say I was impressed to see that she made proper use of the word myriad in her suicide note.
Number 5, 7 Psychopaths.
This guy just telephoned a psycho killer to come down and psycho kill us. This guy's doubting a lifelong belief in the afterlife because of a psychedelic cactus he just ate.
It's a convoluted dark comedy involving dognapping, serial killers, and violent criminals. But somehow, through all the death and destruction, wit and humor managed to be the driving force of the film.
He doesn't even want to help write it with you. His wife just died.
I don't mind helping as long as it isn't going to be too violent.
Of course it's going to be too violent.
The whole point, I told you 20 times, Billy, I don't want it to be violent.
It probably helps that it's got the eternally weird Christopher Walken, since he's mastered the darkly funny shtick.
Marty, are you okay? You look
I just didn't need this today. He's okay. Except blood. It's his puke.
Plus, the cute doggy manages to survive in the end. So how dark can it be, really?
This is kind of like that window of time when you're waiting in the waiting room of the VD clinic, isn't it? For the door to open and the doctor to come out and say, Billy, you're good to go. Oh, Billy, you've got VD.
Now I got you. I'm not gonna let you get away.
Number 4, The War of the Roses.
Let me go. Let me go.
When some marriages go bad, they go very bad.
Okay, the gloves are off.
Others get deadly. Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas play a rich married couple that appears to have it all, except they hate each other.
What the hell is wrong with you?
And while that may seem pretty standard, their way of dealing with their contemptuous feelings is not.
Is everything all right?
I would never humiliate you like this.
You're not equipped to, honey.
As the divorce proceedings grow more and more heated, the two are pitted against each other in an all-out battle for possession of the family home.
I am the one who found this house. I bought everything in it.
With my money! It's a lot easier to spend it than it is to make it, honey bun!
You might not have made it if not for me, sweet cakes.
You weren't even multi-orgasmic before you met me, were you?
Number 3, Pulp Fiction.
So he hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass.
From the same mind that later brought the equally dark Inglourious Bastards to the big screen, comes this exceedingly violent film that sneaks in comedy when you least expect it.
What flavor is this?
Knock it off, Julie.
What?
I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my coffee is, okay? I'm the one who buys it. I know how good it is.
Following several intersecting storylines, this Quentin Tarantino film is underscored by brilliant moments of absurdity and brevity.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
It may seem like everyone in town is out to kill each other, but the violence is interspersed with enough humor, witty dialogue, and sharp writing to elevate the movie and make it more than just a gritty crime drama.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped it?
Oh, what's happening? Oh,
man.
shit, man.
Oh, man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Why the did you do that?
Well, I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident.
Number 2, Fargo. With films like Bart and Fink under their belt, dark comedies are where the Coen brothers shine.
For Pete's sake, he's fleeing the interview. He's fleeing the interview. Oh, he's getting outside line here.
Fargo centers on a pregnant police chief as she investigates the link between a kidnapping and a series of deaths.
We got a shooting. These folks drive by. There's a high-speed pursuit. Ends here, and then this execution type deal.
Yeah.
What makes this film so darkly comical is the stark contrast between the grimness of the deaths and the politeness of the central antagonist and protagonist.
Well, he's got his gun on his hip there, and he looks like a nice enough guy. It's a real shame.
But ultimately, there's really no way to be polite about running a body through a wood chipper. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Who wants to see his nearest and dearest put in an incinerator?
I think, sir, Mrs. Descoigne should leave. The wind is turning cold.
As Mrs. Descoigne thinks best.
Most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends, it's also a personal statement about the band itself. Hey, Paul! Ah!
See, right now, you're jailbait, they're jailbait. It's perfect. I mean, you hit 18. Man, you're talking about 3 to 5.
Hey, I will pull this truck over right now!
So pull the truck over. You're not going to shut me up. F*** you. I can say what I want.
What exactly are you trying to say?
What exactly am I trying to say? These are a bunch of fucking elephants.
Fight you.
All right, somebody get his torso. Find his torso. We'll get the head. We'll just start.
We got the head.
We'll start with black, then we'll go to the Asian.
Number 1, Dr. Strangelove.
Well, boys, I reckon this is it. Nuclear combat toe-to-toe with the Ruskies.
If you don't think the threat of potential global annihilation is funny, well, we don't blame you.
Well, listen, how do you think I feel about it?
But then again, maybe you just need to watch a darkly funny movie about it. And thanks to Stanley Kubrick and several Peter Sellers, you can.
The Doomsday Machine is terrifying? It's simple to understand.
The threat of nuclear war and mutual assured destruction looks imminent after a paranoid U.S. senior officer orders an errant attack. As multiple factions scramble to prevent a Cold War from turning hot, dark comedy underscores the entirety of the film.
Shoot it off! Shoot with a gun!
Okay. I'm gonna get your money for you. But if you don't get the President of the United States on that phone, you know what's gonna happen to you?
What?
You're gonna have to answer to the Coca-Cola Company.
Do you agree with our list?
Don't tell these scum-sucking motherfuckers nothing.
What's your favorite dark comedy? For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.